Another report that we got last week was the so-called Beige Book, the November version of it, and that describes changes in economic activity in the 12 regional districts of the federal system. And I want to quote here. They said, on balance, economic activity slowed since the previous report, with 4 districts reporting modest growth, 2 indicating conditions that were flat to slightly down, and 6 noting slight declines in activity. Now that contrasts that sort of downbeat assessment seems to contrast rather markedly with the latest GDP number, the third quarter revision of third quarter GDP growth, which came in at 5.2%, which is very, very robust, and was revised upward. 4.9% seemed, the first reading seemed really, really big. And so 5.2 seems really remarkable. So what's going on here, Doug? I mean, we've got 2 reports. Are they contradictory, or are they just showing us different things?
The Beige Book is a really valuable resource because unlike all of the data we get, the GDP report is a quarterly report, and the most recent report is for the third quarter. So it says that covers July, August, and September. We get very excited every month for the employment report. We get one on Friday, and we get the employment report for November, but Friday is in December. And so all of those statistics that we rely on so much are really economic history. They are the things that have already happened. So that 5.2 is in the rearview mirror. The Beige Book is about what is happening now. And they do this survey just prior to any meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee. So they have contemporaneous information on economic activity. Now, it's not as statistically refined and it's more anecdotal, but they are learning about what's going on in real time. And I think that's entirely consistent with what we saw in the third quarter report. In the third quarter report, we got a big number, 5.2, but 1.3 percentage points of it were inventory accumulation, typically transitory, toss that out. 0.9% of it was government spending. We're not going to be able to spend hand over fist forever. So that's not a sort of durable source of demand. That leaves the private sector providing a relatively modest piece of that, 2.9. Almost all of that was in the household sector, 2.8% real consumption growth. And the question is, can the households continue to do that? Real disposable income didn't grow from May to October. The savings rate has fallen 2 percentage points since May. This credit cards debt is up dramatically. So there's this sense of a household sector spending, but it's kind of on fumes and not able to continue. I have been worried about that. Business community is flat in the water. Household sector is carrying everything. The November Beige Book says we hit stall speed. It reflects what the business community has been saying. We're flatlined, and may reflect a relatively modest growth in consumer spending. So I take it seriously. It's not definitive. It's on my worry list as to what's going on out there right now.
So it's not that it's portending a recession, but that recession that has always been, just beyond the horizon.
Right. Well, we're all prey to relying too much on recent events, and I think this is going on right now in the U.S. The pandemic recession was caused by a decline in household spending because people couldn't spend. They couldn't go out the door and go to their bar, their restaurant, their concert, and so they didn't spend money, and we got the recession. That's the only post-war recession that's been led by the household sector. Every other post-war recession begins with a downturn in business spending, business fixed investments, structures, equipment, software. That becomes the driving force in that business cycle. It goes down, people get laid off, they then stop spending, and the household sector follows the business sector. So I've been watching the business sector, and I was concerned about that third quarter GDP report because it was essentially flat in there. We haven't seen any evidence that it's picked up since. And so the Beige Book cements my, I've got a watch on the business sector spending. That's to me is the key right now.